YouTube, welcome back. It's your brother in Christ, Weston. Thanks for joining me today. So today's article comes out of End Times Headlines. Let's get into it. Colorado health system is now denying transplants for the people who don't have this, patients in almost all situations. When I saw the title of it and I skimmed over the article, it's the title when it says almost all situations and is denying transplants. Now, mind you, on this channel, I have continued to lead and steer this towards Bible prophecy, towards what we're going through and all the red flags that we're seeing from the start of January 2020 to October 6th, right? And as we continue to move forward. And this was about, and I've said it so many times, about division. I've said, if you watch my past videos, whether you're new here or you're a subscriber or somebody who's not, and they see my videos, I have continued to say that there will be second-class citizens in America. It's discriminatory. It's immoral. It's unethical. And I have said you'll be like the last person to be able to go into a grocery store. You will not be able to get that new car. You'll have to get pre-owned cars or certain cars of a certain year. You won't be able to open that bank account. You won't be able to start that business. You'll have to take like the hand-me-downs. You won't be able to go for the latest and greatest. Why? Because you will be denied and you will be labeled and tracked, obviously, of patients who do not have this. So let's read the article. Colorado-based health system says it's denying organ transplants to patients who are not this against the certain thing that we're going through in almost all situations. Citing studies that show these patients are much more likely to die if they get this. According to KHN News, the policy illustrates the growing cost of being cost, right? So it's a cost now for you to be on this, right? Even though there are right now full-on studies that have blatantly said, per other white coats who don't agree with these white coats, that natural, that word, the IMMU unity, has longer antibodies and is just as effective, if not more effective, than what you're getting here. And that's coming all out through not just the US, but Israel, and some places, other places overseas. I skipped my mind, but Israel was the one that really stood out. So it says here, the policy illustrates the growing cost of being not this and wades deeply controversial territory, using of immunization status, I'll say that, status to decide who gets limited medical care. The mere idea of prioritizing the people who have this for rationed health resources have drawn intense backlash, as the overwhelming people who don't have this patients push some hospitals to adopt crisis standards of care, in which health systems can prioritize patients for scarce resources based largely on the likelihood of survival. So, people who don't have this are more likely to die. Now, when it was nobody, when this wasn't even available, right? It was when we get this miracle, right, through Trump, which even if it came through Trump, I still wouldn't do it, right? Because I don't trust this. It's not about politics. It's about this doesn't add up, right? When you get this, the conversations, even if it was flip-flopped, if it was, and Biden and Kamala said, hey, if Trump wins, then we'll never take it, right? So I guess they can't be held to their own standard, right? It's a double standard. It's hypocrisy. So, but it says here that they're prioritized the likelihood of survival. So you are less likely to survive. And so for that, we're going to use all the resources for people who have it, who've got this, though there are so many overwhelming cases of people getting it again. Remember, they said that if you got this, you were good, you didn't need anymore, you were cured, you were immune. And then it's like, oh, well, then you can get it That should immediately be a red flag that you can get it. And then there are people, and they call them rare, right? Because it's only rare when that's, oh gosh, that's mainstream media for you, right? Just poisoning your mind. That there are rare cases where people who have gotten this and are fully this get it. And then it's like, well, they're less likely to die. I know you've heard that. I've heard that. I'm like, that none of that matters. None of that matters at all. That's, oh gosh, I get so charged up about this. Okay, let's finish. According to the Washington Post, the requirement is not unique, Mr. Weaver said, adding that there are other conditions transplant centers may require patients to abide by. These may include avoiding alcohol, agreeing to take critical medications, and to ensure patients' bodies do not reject organs post-surgery. An organ transplant is a unique surgery that leads to a lifetime of specialized management to ensure that the organ is not rejected, of course, which can lead to serious complications, the need for subsequent transplant surgery, or even death, Mr. Weaver told the Post. Physicians must consider the short-term and long-term health risks for the patients before they consider whether to recommend an organ transplant. Other U.S. transplants centers have similar policies, are in process of adopting them. The health system policy garnered attention October 5th when Colorado State Rep Tim Geithner said it denied a patient a kidney transplant because she was not this. Mr. Geithner shared a letter he said the patient received from UC Health's transplant center. It said she would be inactivated on the kidney transplant waiting list and had 30 days to get this. If not, she would be removed from the list. So I just, I don't know. I have one really good friend, and his father is like a father to me. I used to stay at his house after high school, and I met him in high school, and so they used to let me come over, love them. And his dad ended up having dialysis, had to get dialysis, and so this would be somebody who needs a kidney transplant. And so for that, I don't know if he has this. I don't believe he does. But even if he didn't, let's say he had something else, some other major organ, something that your body needs to function. Can you morally and ethically and logically tell me, make it make sense, if it was your loved one, your father, your mother, your brother, your child who didn't have this, and maybe you did, or maybe you don't think they need it, or they made it, or it's your best friend, and they're like, no, who didn't have this, and somehow they are less of a human being, they are more culpable to dying from this versus what they're missing or what they're needing, right? That's crazy. That is crazy. Everything about this, it's wrong. It is wrong. It's wrong. Morally, ethically, it's wrong. I told you, as we continue to get further and further and further, you just can't block out the news or just cover your eyes about everything that you're seeing and go, why would they act a certain way? We're not having mass people die by any stretch of the means. We have other ways to handle this, or this, right? When you get the thing, and we have 99.6, was it at 99.6% survival rate? Yeah. Man, I have so many words and thoughts just continuing to ask somebody who has this, who's got this, and can see what's happening, and then tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that there is no red flags. I'm just missing them. They're all green. They're actually all good. I would love to hear the other side of the argument about something like this, about everything that I've stated. I would love to hear it, because it has to make sense logically. It has to make sense rationally, morally, ethically. Like it doesn't. And why would you have to do that? Why would you have to make it make sense in those areas? Because these are literal areas that I forgot what the health mandate thing is, not the not, it's a thing that they all live by, right? Like a certain code, I forgot the name of it. It's the ethics of how they do health, right? None of this, not a single bit of this is good. It's not over this. That's it. Now, hey, you need a life-saving transplant? Nope, not gonna get it. Never, not even realizing the long-term effects of if you got this. I wonder if it damages other things. Like, there have been studies that talk about it, but you're not ready to hear that. You're ready to pull the wool over your eyes and just not call it for what it is. So, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you think. Obviously, of course, educate me in the comments. I'd love to see you there. I'm really sad about this because I can see people who have an opportunity to receive a life-saving transplant, and because they won't get this, they are less valued as people and they're less likely to live. Over if they had gotten the organ, they're probably way more likely to live than this. I'll see you in the next one.